Over the weekend, many states across the US were ravaged by unprecedented storms and wildfires. And in this video, I'm going to tell you some very concerning truths about this so-called perfect storm that you simply won't hear from any legacy media channel. Some of the worst images came from Missouri and Mississippi, where multiple tornadoes destroyed entire communities.
It's right there! Tornado on the ground! Tornado on the ground, it's right there, you see it? It's right there!
Let's go home, let's go home. Holy sh**. Oh my god. Okay, oh my god. Oh my god.
It's a tornado. Oh, look at that tree. All that's falling on Wayne House over there. We in it, look at that. Oh man. Oh, no, oh, Lord. Oh!
The videos showing the aftermath of these tornadoes are really hard to watch because you can see thriving communities reduced to rubble in a single night.
We were all in the house watching the weather, and when the Channel 16, Dave Hartman told everybody if they lived in Taylorsville to take cover now.
The death toll in these areas also keeps rising, showing just how devastating this disaster really was.
Coming in here from Missouri, as we know that at least 13 people were killed across a couple states after a widespread and dangerous severe weather outbreak.
6 deaths were reported after severe storms moved through Mississippi today. According to Governor Tate Reeves, the deaths were reported in Covington, Jefferson Davis, and Walthall counties.
And if you weren't getting hit with these monster tornadoes, chances are you saw golf ball-sized hail just crashing down outside your home.
Now we can see better. I have never seen anything like this in my life. My God. I have look at that. That's got to be 4 feet deep almost. A hail.
But this was just a part of this storm. In Texas and Kansas, people witnessed some of the most intense dust storms in recent memory.
There it goes. There goes another one.
And these dust storms quickly caused huge accidents and pileups across different parts of the interstate, resulting in the loss of many lives.
We have multiple vehicles crashed here, folks. Bad situation. Don't come out here. We're live with KOBK.
In Texas, at least 4 people dead after a blinding dust storm swept through the panhandle. Wind gusts hitting 84 miles per hour, visibility near zero.
Once troopers got on scene, they realized how major of an event this was. Ended up being over 50 vehicles involved in that crash, and sadly 8 people have lost their lives.
Now look, people living in these states are certainly not strangers to tornadoes or dust storms. However, isn't it strange that in the days leading up to all this destruction, people have been reporting more and more strange clouds and streaks in the sky?
Check out these trails.
I mean, I've been covering all these stories of chemtrails over the last few weeks, and I even told you just a couple of days ago that they better do something about them before it's too late. And yet, so far, they haven't been able to pass the bill. I know this kind of stuff takes time, but haven't we had enough of this bull already? Let's clean up our skies before we get hit by yet another once-in-a-lifetime storm. Now, Texas has finally introduced a bill that could address the chemtrail issue in the state. This bill was authored by Senator Brian Hughes, and it seeks to stop weather and climate modification activities by any government agencies. This bill identifies geoengineering as the intentional injection, release, or dispersion using chemicals, chemical compounds, substances, substances or an apparatus into the atmosphere with the purpose of impacting the temperature, weather, or the sunlight intensity. And if approved, the bill could go into effect on September 1st of this year. A similar bill was also being discussed in the Iowa House subcommittee.
So in my mind, the state of Iowa is at least 15 years behind on addressing this topic. And the failure for the legislature to act, to surrender their sovereign responsibility in this area, realistically puts the people of Iowa, our health, our well-being, and our economic prosperity at serious and grave risk. In closing, I do view this legislation as a necessary fact-finding exercise. The absence of clear information in this area is reason enough to justify an urgent prohibition of the practice, so we can gather clear evidence and data surrounding these technologies.
So now, basically, it's a question of how quickly they can vote on these bills and enforce them because, let me remind you, the tornado and hurricane seasons haven't even officially started yet, and the destruction we're seeing might just be the beginning. Now, moving on, I want to talk about the fires in Oklahoma that have burned down hundreds of thousands of acres across the state.
We're told crews battled more than 130 fires across the state yesterday. Dry air and strong winds spreading the damage across some 170,000 acres.
Unfortunately, Oklahoma is yet another state where big insurance providers have refused to renew insurance policies for thousands of homes.
Over 1,000 homeowners in eastern Oklahoma will soon need to find new home insurance. Farmers won't be renewing roughly 1,300 policies in November.
And this once again brings me back to the same damn question. How the hell can these companies just cancel someone's policy after receiving premiums for years and even decades? This is greed at a level that's disgusting, and no one seems to be doing anything about it. So once again, we need to raise some hell and bring this issue to your local lawmakers before your town also starts seeing something like this. Moving on, I want to talk about Donald Trump's latest interview where he once again promised to release all those classified files within weeks.
Is that process still on track? I think that's one of the most often questions I've been asked the last couple of days, to release these records on Epstein, MLK, and JFK.
Well, Pam Bondi's done a phenomenal job in every respect, moving along, and it's moving along pretty rapidly. It doesn't go that
weeks
rapidly.
Maybe, or longer?
I say weeks. Yeah, I say weeks.
The president also reaffirmed his support for Pam Bondi in this interview.
Well, Pam Bondi's done a phenomenal job in every respect, and there could have been some holdback. I haven't heard too much about it.
And he also did the same thing in a recent press briefing.
People ask me, what am I going to do about law enforcement all the time? The fake news back there, they're asking me that all the time. What am I going to do? And when are you going to do it? And I answer them by saying I've already done most of it by appointing the people that I've appointed. They're sitting right here. They've done most of it. I don't do it, they do it. Right, Pam? I think, oh, you are so tough, they just don't know yet.
To me, it seems like the president saw the criticism his appointees have faced, and he's trying to assure his voter base that everything is going according to the plan. Now, that's a great thing because Pam Bondi clearly wasn't helping herself with her silence and her unfulfilled promises. And I have another story related to Donald Trump that I really want to talk about, and this one involves a rogue microphone.
Mr. President, obviously you're concerned. You're concerned about the situation in Gaza. What are the hopes now to get the hospitals back?
She just became a big story tonight, right? Yes, sir. Did you see that?
Now look, the president tried to lighten up the mood, which is great, because he doesn't care about such a thing. But the people online certainly raised some big questions. In a post on X that has received millions of views, one user wrote, "An assassin with a ricin poison microphone, an amount of only a few specks of dust would suffice, could kill the president in this manner. This is a security failure. How many attempts on Donald Trump's life must be made before the Secret Service tightens up?" And he he's not wrong. Spy agencies, including our own, have a history of taking people out through these unbelievable methods. I mean, the CIA literally tried to off Fidel Castro by using an explosive cigar, so this poison theory isn't very far-fetched. And we also know about the confirmed assassination attempts on Donald Trump's life, so it's kinda strange that anyone can just bump a boom mic in his face like that. However, I have a feeling that this issue will soon be resolved because our president now has former Secret Service agents like Dan Bongino around him.
There are FBI folks, DHS folks, Secret Service folks. They are lying to the Trump transition team about the status of where they are, what they're doing, reform efforts, all of it. Do not trust the FBI and do not trust the Secret Service either, or any of these government entities, until there is a full change in management.
Moving on, I want to talk about another huge story which has seemingly been buried by most media outlets. I mean, did you know that Senator Rand Paul tried to stop any more funding to the USAID through an amendment? And did you know that he only received 27 Republican votes? Meanwhile, the other 26 Republican senators sided with the Democrats and voted against his amendment. And just to make it clear, this is what the USAID has been up to.
Democracy Forward, which was sort of the apparatus, the compendium of all of these resistance groups, 120 plus organizations, the one outfit that they set up prior to President Trump being sworn in was something called Civil Service Strong. And it was the idea that they were going to provide legal aid and resources to whistleblowers, sort of, I think, a shadow impeachment, right? They can't impeach President Trump right now, but they're laying the groundwork, or they're trying to sort of do it indirectly.
They want to build the case and have the resistance off that.
And USAID was the linchpin on all of that. Why do I say that?
Wow.
Because it's mentioned dozens of times in the democracy playbook.
And yet, even the Republicans will not vote against it. Are you putting two and two together? Because to me, it's pretty clear that anyone who's not willing to vote against such fraud was likely benefiting from it in one way or another. And that's the most concerning part of this story, because these greedy politicians might try to undermine Donald Trump again in the future. We're going to end today's video right there. But tell me, what do you think of this superstorm? And if you're from one of the affected areas, can you tell everyone about your own experience? Leave your comments in the section down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video.